What's up, y'all? So someone in my local Facebook group, they're doing like their senior project, and I don't know if it's even high school or college, but they have this list of questions. And I thought this would be a good opportunity. It's a pretty good list of questions. I got the computer in front of me here to answer some questions that y'all may have about me, about my life, about how I became vegan, why I'm vegan. And so I just thought I'd go ahead and make a video, and that way if you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments below if I don't answer it. But let's get started. So question number one is, explain your background and history of your relationship with animals. So growing up as a kid, our family always had at least one dog, if not two dogs. Pretty much all my family members, uncles, aunts, they all had dogs. We were never really like cat people. We were always more dog people. But, you know, my relationship with animals was, pretty much domestic animals, dogs and cats. I was around them all the time. We had, cookouts every weekend, meat every meal for, dinner. And it was just kind of that hypocritical lifestyle, where you love on your dog and your cat or whatnot, but then you're still eating the chickens and pigs and turkeys and every cows and whatnot for your meals. So growing up, I had a real strong connection. A dog would pass away, it was like losing a family member. But I never made the connection between, my pets and the food on my plate, pretty much. Second question is, what was your life like before you went vegan? What was your diet like? How have they changed? So before I went vegan when I was 24, back in 2012. Before I went vegan, I pretty much ate the standard American diet. I mean, I can give you I pretty much ate almost the same thing every day, switch it up a little bit. But what I ate mostly, for breakfast, I would have 2 or 3 bowls of Cocoa Krispies with low-fat milk, cow's milk. For lunch, it would be like a club sandwich with turkey, ham, cheese, all the fixings, some tater tots. And then for dinner, it was usually like a grilled chicken or grilled pork chop with, potatoes or something else, and then always had a bowl of ice cream at night. So that was pretty much a standard day before I went vegan. What was my life like before I went vegan? Before I went vegan, I was huge into the partying, the drugs. I pretty much drank every weekend, if not every day. Marijuana every day, psychedelics very heavily, pharmaceuticals. Pretty much whatever anyone put in front of me, I was willing to try it. If it was gonna fuck me up, I wanted to try it. So I was huge into drugs. Fortunately, never been arrested or put in jail. And I was lucky enough to get out of that lifestyle before anything else happened. I mean, it could have got a lot worse. Number 3, what experience did you have with farm animals before you were vegan? Before I was vegan, I don't think I'd ever been to a farm that had farm animals on it. And I don't think I'd ever, I definitely had never been to like an animal sanctuary, which now I've been to one animal sanctuary. But as far as farm animals, I had no connection. Like, I didn't even have a connection of farm fresh eggs or farm fresh meat or anything like that. So as far as my experience with farm animals before veganism, it was non-existent. Now that I'm vegan, I have a greater understanding of farm animals. I visit all these farms because I'm big into gardening now, and most of these farms all have livestock, whether it's just chicken for laying, whether they raise turkeys around Thanksgiving, whether they have cows for beef, pigs for pork. But it's very rare to find a farmer who doesn't raise some kind of livestock. Why did you go vegan? Explain what you saw, heard, and finally made you make the change. So like I said, I went vegan back in 2012, and pretty much I went vegan the day after I got back from a trip to, it was either Virginia Beach or Myrtle Beach, I forget which one. But me and one of my friends, we would use their parents' timeshare. We would go for a week to, we'd stay in like a little hotel right on the beach. And it'd just be a week of fucking partying, eating fried chicken, shitty ass foods. And I remember that trip, it was just a spiral. It was just kind of eye-opening, We'd done some drugs, whatnot, some mushrooms, smoked a lot of pot, drank a lot of beer. And within that mist, I kind of opened my eyes, and I remember just thinking, like, when I get back, I'm doing it. Like, this, there's no more like questioning it. And I had been thinking about it probably about 6 months to a year prior to this trip. I'd been, there was a friend of mine that I used to be in Boy Scouts with, and he started practicing the Arnold Ehret's mucusless diet healing system many years ago, and I ran across his website about 2 or 3 years probably prior to this, and I was just like, dude, that dude's crazy. Like, there's no way I could ever do that. And then I started like seeing more and more, you know, doing a little bit more research, kind of opening my eyes and taking off the blinders, and it was just like, all right, I see this isn't just a fad. Like, I see why people are doing this. I see why people are making the lifestyle changes. I'm seeing the benefits that people are having. I'm seeing the benefits that people are experiencing. And I was like, what the hell do I have to lose? And then it was, you know, I went on that trip and I was like, fuck, like, my life really is terrible. Like, the food that I'm eating, the lifestyle that I'm living, I'm not happy. I don't know what my purpose is. It was just like, fuck, man. I was in a downward spiral was what I felt like. I was at a stand. If I wasn't in a downward spiral, I was at a standstill. And I knew that I had nothing to lose. And the main reason that I went vegan was for health reasons. It had nothing to do with the ethics as far. It was purely, you could call me selfish, but it was purely for myself at the time. Fifth question, once you decided to go vegan, what steps did you take? Did you transition slowly or change right away? So I made the decision overnight that this was something I was going to try. You know, right when the day after I got back from that trip, I went out and I bought a $300 juicer, because this is, you know, I was watching Dan the Man. I was watching all these juicers doing green juices. Even Joe Rogan was doing some green juices and whatnot. So I went out straight up, just bought a $300 juicer and started juicing. And that first juice I made, I fucking spit it out, threw out all the vegetables, threw out the juice. I was like, fuck this. Like, this is not for me. Like, how are people doing this? Like, fuck, I just wasted $300 plus all this money on these veggies. And come to find out, I just wasn't doing it right. I didn't know what I'd like. You know, my taste buds were fucked pretty much. But after that, I started doing a little more research. I started, you know, how to make the juices taste better but still be healthy. So I started adding in a little bit more fruit versus just like all veggies with one Granny Smith apple. And so it was a slow transition. I started juicing for breakfasts, so I pretty much replaced my breakfasts with a vegetable fruit juice. And then, you know, I'd still eat, like, you know, for lunch I started having like a chips and salsa, so it was vegan, but it wasn't the healthiest. And then for dinner, you know, I was still like on the edge. You know, some days I would have like just some spaghetti with sauce with some garlic bread. You know, other days I would have like a huge salad but still put ranch dressing on it. So I would say it was about 6 months after I made the commitment about that juicer to where I was fully like 100% vegan. Like, okay, let's cut out all this bullshit. No more croutons with butter. No more ranch dressing on my salads. Like, let's do this 100% and see the benefits. So yeah, it was a slow bit, you know, slow transition, but some people just cut that shit cold turkey. Number 6, what reactions have you had from others since going vegan? What criticisms have you experienced? Have you had others interested in veganism? Now see, as far as the reaction from others, everybody when I first went vegan was like, oh, this is just a fad. He's just in one of his little phases of life. This will never last. Like, he's gonna do this for a week or a month and then it'll be on to something else. But this is one thing in my life that has stuck, and I can almost guarantee that it will always stick. If you have a purpose for doing it, like I say, you know, it started off as a health, but then as you get more into it and you do more research, you realize this is a conscious decision. You do it for the animals, you do it for the ethical reasons, you do it for the planet. And then, you know, the health is pretty much just a side effect, a good side effect, something that you just reap the benefits from. So a lot of the reactions when I first started was just like, how, you know, this is just a fad that Andy's going through. And then, you know, all the criticisms was like, yeah, how do you know, especially when I started like eating a bunch of fruit, everyone's like, oh, how do you eat that much fruit? That can't be good. Like, that's too much sugar. Like, you're gonna rot your teeth, and I could never do that. That's way too many carbs, this and that. And you're always gonna get criticism. This lifestyle isn't for you if you can't handle criticism. You gotta be able to explain why you're doing this. You gotta be able to show people the benefits. You know, you can't be lighthearted on this journey. Number 7, what do you think are most common misconceptions about going veganism? That's, I mean, number 1, where do you get your protein from? Number 2 is, oh, well, animal agriculture isn't the main cause of the greenhouse gases or the destruction of our planet. That's bullshit. Animal agriculture is a huge impact. I'd say greater than petroleum and oil, or petroleum, oil, same thing. Other misconceptions, I mean, people don't even think that you can live on a 100% fruit diet. You know, people think that, oh, vegan is, you know, you eat too many carbs, you can't, and our ancestors grew up on meat. You know, we have to have meat in order to evolve. And it's just, I mean, it's all, there's so many misconceptions out there. I can't even list, but that's probably the main 2 or 3 right there. What has been the best part of going vegan? All the animals you save, hands down. The compassion that you gain, the knowledge you gain, the people you meet. I mean, that's a simple answer right there. I mean, if you want to go farther in depth, you know, performance, my health, bowel movements, I mean, we can go on and on. The benefits are pretty much endless. What have been the challenges of being vegan? There's pretty much like 2 or 3 challenges that I see for every vegan. You got the social challenges, you know, when you go out and your friends want to go to a restaurant that, you know, probably the only vegan option they have is a salad, maybe some French fries. Another challenge is just all the hate and all the relash, or all the, what's the word I'm looking for? It's pretty much all the questioning, everybody questioning what you're doing and why you're doing it. You know, people don't think that this is a viable lifestyle. And there's not many vegans out there, so we're in the minority. You know, maybe, what, 5% of people are vegan? So that's been probably the biggest challenge as far as meeting vegans, as far as dating. You know, I can't just date any old meat eater or whatnot. I want someone that's on my level, someone that's willing to improve, someone that has the same passions as me. So those are a few of the challenges that, you know, face of going vegan. Let's see, question number 10. People love their pets, dogs and cats, like family. Why do you think they don't see the farm animals the same way? Why do you think people, even animal lovers, do not make a connection with the animals they eat? People have been trained, people have been brainwashed, you know, since birth. You know, when do we start eating meat and you know, dairy products? 1.5, 2 years old, maybe earlier. So it's concreted in our brain. It's a hard one to break. It's like if you started smoking cigarettes when you were 2 years old, and then you don't realize or see the information that vegans see till you're 18. That's a 16-year addiction. You know, some people don't see this information till they're 30, 40 years old, and they are, you know, 30 or 40 year old addiction. So it can be hard as far as people, you know, I know a lot of animal lovers, they'll give their left arm to save an animal, you know, a homeless animal or whatnot, but they're still eating meat and dairy. And they definitely dairy. I think dairy is probably one of the hardest ones, but dairy is also one of the cruelest ones. What do you wish people knew about factory farming? What do you wish they knew about farm animals? About factory farming, I mean, I wish people knew the truth about factory farming. I'm sure we've all heard the phrase that if slaughterhouses had glass walls, nobody would eat meat. And I think that's true. But my understanding of this is the internet. There's so much information out there. How do people not know? I think that most of the stuff that people see and the stuff that they, you know, just totally reject is straight willful ignorance. They know what's going on, they just don't want to believe it. And that's what keeps people down, you know. I think almost everyone knows what's going on, and that's why there's a big movement for, like, oh, the free range, or, you know, the cage free, or all this other bullshit. It's just people telling themselves that, oh, it's okay because they have more room to run around, or they're not kept in a cage all day. It's people tricking their minds into believing that their bad habits are good habits, which they aren't. What would you say to those that do know about factory farming, are still unwilling or unable to make changes? Don't waste your time with them. You know, there's other people out there that are willing to hear your information, that are willing to take your information and do something with it. These people that know about it but don't do anything, don't fucking waste your time on it. They're not worth it. Your time is valuable, and don't spend your time, you know, with people that know the information that aren't willing to change. It's not worth it. How important do you think it is that children are properly educated about farm animals and where they come from? What do you think can be done to educate them? The internet. You can learn anything about the internet, you know, on the internet. You can learn about all kinds of farm animals, how they're treated at factory farms, how they're slaughtered. I think that kids should see where their meals come from. You know, people are like, oh, well, that's too violent. It's the fucking truth. You know, show them. If it's too violent, why is it good enough for their stomachs but not good enough for their eyes? You know, why are you feeding them the violence? If you say it's too violent, but you won't let them watch it and see where their food comes from, another hypocritical thing. You won't let them watch it, but you'll let them eat it. It's fucked up to me. How would you explain veganism to a child? It's the compassionate, the right thing to do. You know, we weren't put on this earth to eat meat. It's the cruelest thing that we can do on this earth. And we don't need to. That's another big thing. You just got to tell them that we don't need meat to survive. Zoos are supposed to be educational, especially for children. What do you think could be done to get more people interested in visiting places like farm sanctuaries instead? More farm sanctuaries. There's not enough farm sanctuaries around. Until we have more farm sanctuaries that are readily available, more open barn days at farm sanctuaries, then there won't, you know, people are still going to keep going to zoos. What do you think is the most effective way to get others to make the connection to the animals they eat and make the lifestyle changes? You got to know, you got to do your research, you got to know the information. You know, for like the first year that you go vegan, you should just be research, book after book after book, YouTube video after YouTube video, documentary after documentary. Know your facts. You know, people will bring you down. They'll bring this whole fucking faith, God meant us to eat animals, we can't evolve without meat, we've been eating meat since so on, or, you know, well, what would happen if, you know, if everyone stopped eating meat, what would all happen to all the animals, and our planet couldn't handle a fully vegan, everyone going vegan. It's like, you got to know your facts. Know every argument that people are going to bring to you. They're going to bring the nutrient, you know, where do you get your protein? What about iron? What about B12? And that's the biggest thing. I mean, and then to show them documentaries, you know, the people that are questioning, you know, that want to make the connection to eating animals, you know, show them Earthling, show them Cowspiracy, show them Forks Over Knives. There's so many documentaries out there. Gary Yourofsky's best speech you've ever heard. Let's see, we're at number 17. Geez, a long ass list. What would be your advice to someone interested in going vegan? What resources are important and helpful? Like I said, research. So many books out there, so many documentaries, so many YouTubers out there with the information. There's no reason not to go vegan. My advice is just try it. Try it for 30 days. What do you have to lose? You have a whole lot to gain, but you probably ain't got much to lose. What, you're gonna lose some taste? You're not even gonna lose taste. Everything that you eat that's not vegan now, you could pretty much get vegan. Ice cream, bacon, sausage, cheese, yogurt, milk, whatever. A lot of the products taste better. If you've never had vanilla almond milk and you're drinking like 1% low fat milk, man, you're fucking missing out. You are fucking missing out. That's my challenge to you, is fucking go get some vanilla almond milk and tell me that shit ain't better on your cereal than that low fat or even whole milk. Not to mention that you're not harming, you're not contributing to the rape, to the, I mean, the dairy industry is just one of the cruelest industries to me. All right, last question. Why is being vegan important to you? Why should it be important to others? Being vegan is important to me because it's saving animals, it's saving the planet. It's helping me as far as my life, as far as health. Vegan is important to me. I mean, it's one of the most important things in my life. It's one of the things that I'm the most passionate about. Veganism is, it's a lifestyle. Don't get into veganism just thinking it's a diet, it's a fad, you know, that it's just gonna, you know, it will help you fit into your wedding dress or look good in your swimsuit, but veganism is a lifestyle. I always warn people that, you know, if you're gonna go vegan for 30 days, be prepared to be vegan the rest of your life. Because once you see the benefits of veganism, you ain't gonna wanna go back. There's no way. It's gonna be hard to break your old habits, but once you do that, once your taste buds change, game over, buddy. You're living the compassionate, you're living the life that we were meant to live originally. And why should it be important to others to go vegan? It should be important to others to go vegan because they're not going to be harming other people. They won't be contributing to all the murder, all the rape, all the babies being stolen from their mothers in the dairy industry, in the meat industry. So my final words of advice to anybody out there questioning about the vegan lifestyle is research, research, research. That's really all you can do. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Comments below, whatever. I mean, I'm always, if someone wants to talk about veganism and they're genuinely interested, I'll give them my time. If it's just someone that's trying to question my ethics and my morals, you know, if someone just always questioning me like, oh, well, what about this or what about that? It's like, they ain't worth your time. They're just trying to break you. They're trying to break you down. And they're not worth it. They're just going to keep questioning you. They're never going to open their eyes. They're never, just let them go. Sometimes you just got to let them free. Maybe down the road they'll open their eyes, take off their blinders and realize, like, that dude was right. Like, he was on to something. Why the fuck didn't I listen to him years ago? And that's pretty much the way that I feel. The biggest regret that I have about going veganism, or the biggest regret that I have about going vegan, is that I didn't do it earlier. I wished I would have done this years before I went vegan. But I'm grateful that that I'm on this lifestyle now. I'm grateful for everything that I've learned. And that's why I do these videos, because I want to give back. So many people are giving to me. This is my way of giving back. So like I said, if you have any questions, comments, put them down below. If you like this style video, want to see more Q&As, give this video a thumbs up. If not, fuck it. Give this video a thumbs down. I don't give a fuck. Share it with your mother, your brother, your sister, your best friend, your worst enemy. Share it in a motherfucking Facebook group. And remember, go vegan, y'all. Peace, y'all. Peace.